in you.
Love
You're
and
a
kindness.
liar.
Love and kindness.
The devil
Where's
is
the
your-
love and kindness
God
for Kyrie
is
Irving?
exalted.
Where's
And
the love
Jesus
and
is
kindness
Lord.
for Kyrie Irving? Huh? Are the
Where the
Jews black?
Spirit is,
Are
there's
the Jews black people?
You're a
Are
liar.
the Jews black?
You're lying.
Are the Jews
You're
black?
hurting our people.
Are the Jews black people?
Preaching hate.
Answer the question, nigga. Are the Jews black people?
It's called nonsense.
Are the Jews black? Yes or no? Yeah, you kissing the stinkest part of the white man.
Stop.
Drive him away, sis. Save him. Save him. He don't want to be saved. He don't want to be saved. But save him. Because you're a hoe for the white man. You're a goddamn hoe for the white man. You know who he is? That's Nabal. That's Nabal. Nabal was a fool in the Bible. And Nabal came up against God's man. And his wife knew better. And she was pulling him away and telling him, don't be so stupid. And now he rejects his wife. And God killed Nabal in the Bible because he was a dummy. Nabal is an idiot. And you a goddamn idiot. Yeah, the man is the head of the woman. And you should take a hat off if you're going to talk God's words. That's what the Bible says.
My wife followed me.
Good. And who do you follow?
I follow Jesus
You
Christ.
follow the white man. That's who you
White
follow.
man.
Is the Jews black
What
or not?
white man?
Are the Jews black?
What
Are the
man
Jews
are you
black?
talking about?
Yeah, I know this white man.
You talking about the Edomites?
I'm talking about this devil here.
What you
I'm
talking
talking about this devil right here.
Hey, Negro,
That's who you
please.
follow.
You
That's
slow.
why you wear the
You
cross
right.
on your neck. Why you wear the cross on your neck and talking about you the Lion of Judah? When the cross is what killed our King Jesus Christ. If your family member
Is he
died
dead?
by something,
Is he
would you
dead?
honor it? Would you honor it on you?
Is
But you Christians are
he
stinking disgusting,
dead?
man. You a
He
stinking
is
hoe. You a
not
stinking hoe.
dead.
You a stinking
He's
hoe.
alive.
You're a prostitute from the white man. You a prostitute for the white man. You're a prostitute for the white man. Give me
just
sleeping
hurt.
dogs.
You a
Give me
hurt
sleeping
Negro.
dogs.
You a hurt
Don't
nigga.
bark.
You've been traumatized,
Please
nigga.
read.
You a hurt. You a hurt Negro.
Yeet.
What you are.
I am hurt. I'm
If you
hurt
only speak the
for the
truth.
daughters of my people.
Right.
I'm hurt for what this white devil has done to black people. I'm hurt for what this devil has done to Hispanic and Native Indian people. I'm hurt for what they do to us daily. I'm hurt for the mass incarceration. I'm hurt for the slavery. I'm hurt for the rape. I'm hurt for the abortion. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Pastor Pork Chop ain't about to do nothing.
Pork Chop
He
what?
gonna scream and yell
You a
just like a
liar.
little hoe. He gonna scream and
You
yell
a
just like a
liar.
little hoe.
The Spirit of God.
Let's cue up the music for
You're
Pastor
a
Prostitute.
liar.
Let's cue up the
You're
music
hurting our
for
people.
Pastor Prostitute.
With your hate. You a hater.
And the Holy Ghost said, ha. Huh?
You a
And the
hater.
Holy Ghost said, ha.
I'm a
You a
dog.
hoe of a nigga. You're a
Judah.
thorough hoe. You're a thorough
I'm
hoe.
Judah.
You're a hoe for the white man.
I
And you're
am
off your
Judah.
meds. You're off your meds.
You coming
You're
about it the wrong
schizophrenic.
way.
Go ahead.
If you was listening,
Well, how should I come up about
Let
it?
him
How
hear.
should I come up about it? By kissing the white man's ass like you? Like kissing the white man's ass like you?
white man, what
Read
did he do
it.
to you? Did he hurt you?
Hold on. Say it again.
What did the white man do to you?
What did he not
Yeah,
do
tell
to
me
me?
what the white man did.
What did he not do
Yeah.
to me? What did he not do to me? He's done everything he could and still meditating today to even do more. But you don't care about that because you're a hoe. Listen, go flip and slide down the pole for the white man.
By yourself.
Go flip and slide down the pole.
I hear you.
Get to start following God.
Right.
I know it's something that you probably never heard in your life, but it's something that you must learn to do. You have to follow God, man. And Christ came to teach you in the flesh how to follow God.
Right.
That was what Christ's whole life was. He went from city to city, just like we do, teaching how to follow God in the right way, because there was people back then that taught lies too.
Right.
There was people back then that taught false doctrines as well.
That's right.
It takes a man and a woman to make a child. So if a man is having sex with a man, guess what's not happening? You're not procreating. If a woman has sex with a woman, you're not procreating.
Right.
So guess what? That means our numbers are gonna go down.
Right.
Population control.
Talking about real love. Someone who can put his life down on the line so you can live, man. Keep going. Verse 21. I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God.
I do not what?
I do not frustrate the grace of God. We don't frustrate the grace of God, man. We don't tarry. We don't wait. We are aggressive, man. And on our aggression, we are going to serve God until the day we die because we got to stay ready. And if we stay ready, we're going to get the kingdom of heaven, man. We're going to get the kingdom of heaven. There's no waiting when you come and serve God. Don't be patient to come and serve God. And in your grace, don't frustrate it.
The nations who oppressed you, who stole your land, who took your identity, who gave you bywords, you understand? If you join them, you're going to be destroyed with them. But if you turn to the Most High and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to live in that terrible day when Christ returns. What did the Most High say? Read.
I will bring plagues.
He said I might bring.
I will bring.
I could bring.
I will bring.
I will bring. Read.
Plagues upon the world.
I'm going to bring what?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
What?
Plagues.
The Most High is going to bring plagues. And one of those plagues is known as the coronavirus, man. And you're afraid, like Donald Trump said, of the invisible enemy. Listen, there's going to be more plagues. The coronavirus ain't nothing compared to what the Most High got in store for the unfaithful and the wicked and the evil of this earth, man. That's right.
12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him, which means destruction to him who built a town on blood. How in the hell you think you can build something on blood and everything is going to be all right? You know, in the world they got something that's called karma. Well, in the Bible it's called you reap what you sow.
That's right.
You reap what you sow. And what you see right now is a white man reaping what he has sown in this earth, man. That's what he has sown. Bloodshed.
You were sadly mistaken, man. Right. This is the death of America. That's what this place is. The fall of Babylon. We have a song in our organization we like to sing. It goes something like this, right? Babylon is falling. So rise no more. Rise no more.
You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. From the dusk to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawing outside. Cause it's a war outside. My sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, your bladder be all outside. Cause it's a war outside. I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. And that's a definite. Cannonball wrecking shit. Excellent. Rhyme Barack and bombing like the president. I remain strong. King Kong you with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do, that's how I represent. Hardcore, heaven sent, chain on, hella bent. Throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men. Cause we put in work to stop the earth until it caves in. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock solid when we bout to leave the sword and stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, tracking the pride. To let the Hebrew speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talking super heavy, nigga, that's the surprise. With all scripture, street talk, word to Captain the God. Nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max till we cracking the pavement. UPK, y'all the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's hard.
I can shake your hand. I can respect you. You understand? I can respect you. You understand?
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said, sir. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I'm back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember Yahanna's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mass shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
All right, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Hey, this is the Wednesday Law and History class. I'm Precinct Officer Tawaga Bar. I got two of my brothers in here rocking with me. I got the young man up in here. I got Officer Malakma up in here, and we're gonna get it in. We got some things to cover. I'm gonna bring out the history. I'm gonna play a video. This is the history class. I'm gonna play a video with Commander Gen.Yahanna because a couple of weeks ago we had a troll in here asking us about the history of the school for whatever reason, but just for the edification of brothers and sisters that, you know, maybe you've been in the truth, you haven't been in the truth that long, or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna play the video with Commander Gen.Yahanna telling you how the school started and giving you some insight into the foundations of the Isupk. Also, what we're going to get into right now is Kyrie Irving. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. If you can hear me, just put a 1 in the chat if you could, for any brothers and sisters online right now. Or one of y'all can go live and we good? We good to go? The water. Hey, the water for that. So yeah, so Kyrie Irving, I mean, it's been the biggest thing, I mean, since Kanye West, right? It's been the, you know, and the water for that. The water for that. It's been the biggest thing in the last week or so. Kyrie Irving came out and basically said, listen, I can't be anti-Semitic if I know who I am. Ooh, that was a cold cut. And see, we were having this conversation earlier because a lot of like coming up in the truth over the years, what I've saw, and I was telling you this, Malakma, what I've saw and how I looked at it was, okay, whenever a celebrity says something like Christ is black, or they say that, yeah, we might be Jews, what I've noticed is that brothers and sisters that are not in the school will, you know, get real excited and share that and, you know, be real ecstatic over something like that. And I would be like, well, the men of the Lord is right here. We're doing the work every weekend in the streets of America and across the globe. The truth is not going to come. The Lord is not going to wake up everybody using a rich man, right? Christ wasn't rich. The disciples wasn't rich. So why in the hell would you think that the Lord is looking to use rich people or people that you know that everybody loves in order to reveal this truth to the world? That was that's how I used to view things, you know. And I said, this is something that in the Isupk, if you've ever been in class, you know that we pray for this. We pray for the Lord to open up the airways and open up the cable access channels in the internet and open it up to the world, this truth to the world, because this truth started in 1969. And this truth is, when you compare the truth to Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, when you compare it to these major conglomerate religions, the truth is in its inception. I was gonna say in its infancy, but what happens before you're an infant? The truth is in its gestation period, right? Because it's just coming out. But now with the advent of the internet and the World Wide Web, it's just spread out. Social media then spread the truth out to the four corners of the earth. And then you have brothers with platforms such as Kanye West or Ye and Kyrie Irving to come out and say this and acknowledge this. And then the backlash that they got for it made it even worse. And I say worse for them, because now everybody said, what the hell is all this about? Let me go look into this. Let me go see what this is all about. Why are they, why every channel I turn on, the media is talking about this basketball player or Kanye West? And so this is something that we need to capitalize on as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as brothers in this truth, as priests and prophet of the Lord. We need to capitalize on the fact that the eyes are open. People's eyes are turning. People are awakening to this truth because of the platform. So this is something that we have prayed for, and this is the answer to a lot of brothers' prayers, that we just get the exposure, right? Because we've been on the internet for a long time,
right?
And listen, videos get shut down, pages get deleted. I done put up videos that were private, and they done deleted the video, and I said, what the hell? I didn't even make it public yet. How are you flagging my video, right? So we've been in a long battle and a long fight for exposure. And unfortunately, this is the medium. Social media is the medium in which everybody is trying to communicate on. But the Isupk has been doing this before the internet, since 1969, on the streets of America, right? So we've been in the ground, boots on the ground. We got it from the mud, the home of the truth, all right? And so Kyrie, they own Kyrie's head right now. And the Nets came back and came with like 6 different things he got to do. And it's just outrageous. They literally are trying to humiliate the brother. If one of y'all could pull it up, I can't do it right now, but if you could pull up the 6 things they're asking this brother to do before he can come back on the team. This is going to show you how devilish they are, right? Yeah, we're going to get into it. It's going to show you. And listen, we're going to get into the definition of anti-Semitic, anti-Semite. We're going to get into some stuff. I want to talk about I think it was this weekend, Tariq Nasheed took a group of people to the Capitol and they were rallying for reparations, for Black people to get their reparations. So I want to actually talk about 40 Acres and a Mule and the history of that too. This is a history class, so I do want to go over we know the term 40 Acres and a Mule, but I want to go over that history if we could, and real briefly, and then we're going to get into what Commander Gen.Yahanna had to say about the beginning of the school. It should be like on one of the, so you got it. If you could, I need one of y'all to read loud. I just want to make, when these brothers start, one of these brothers read, I want you guys to give me a 1 and let me know if you can hear them clear. So just go ahead and read. Go ahead and read.
Conditions needed for Kyrie Irving's reinstatement. Public statement recognizing the film is anti-Semitic. Apology for supporting.
Wait. There's one that I read where he said he had to admit it and he has to condemn the film. Now, what we're talking about, if you don't know, if you've been up under a goddamn rock, Kyrie Irving shared a documentary called, what is it called? Hebrews to Negroes, right? And this documentary has been around for about 5 years, I believe. I seen a post with some sister talking about they donated to this brother and they always wondered what happened to their money, right? She started, I guess I don't know why she made the post, but anyway, the brother made the documentary. From my understanding, right, brothers in the school that have seen it said it's not worth seeing it. I mean, we're in the home of the truth, right?
Right.
But people who have seen it have expressed that it doesn't say anything anti-Semitic. It doesn't have any racial Jewish tropes. I'm using that word. I wanted to exercise my vocabulary. Right. That word is so there's no racial Jewish stereotypes in the film, no anti-Semitism whatsoever in the film, but they want him to say that the film is anti-Semitic. And on one that I read earlier today, it said they want him to condemn the film. Right? Go ahead.
I got it, sir.
You got it.
So these are the 6 things.
Hit the water, brothers and sisters, for that one in the chat. Go ahead.
Kyrie Irving has to do. Number 1, issue an apology for posting a link to the movie on October 27th.
We live in a world where Black and brown men has to give a goddamn apology for sharing a link. People share things every goddamn day, right? And that just shows you that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he doesn't do this to anyone else. He wants to humiliate this brother. So he's saying, you got to apologize for sharing a link. Go ahead.
So, I just wanted to add to, feedback after saying, this is why they're the devil the Bible speaks of, because they got an issue with tropes being spread about them. Meanwhile, they don't have no issue having Black and brown rappers rap about, quote unquote tropes about their people.
Right.
I mean, pushing out stereotypes about Black
they don't
people.
Exactly. The brother brought out a heavy point. They don't have any problem with you pushing out racial tropes and stereotypes about your people. They don't have any problem about you talking about guns and killing and you twerking and being half naked on every social media platform. They don't have no issue with that. But if you just say that you are God's chosen people, that's anti-Semitic. All of a sudden, that's, they didn't say anything about the platform that it's on. They didn't get at Amazon Prime, right. Probably because they're in works that have a $1 billion deal with the NBA to stream 1 or 2 live games a week. They didn't get at Jeff Bezos, or does he still own Amazon? They didn't get at Jeff Bezos for it being on the actual platform where millions of people can see it. Kyrie Irving, I'm sure he got millions of followers, but how many people are on Amazon Prime watching videos and scrolling? Probably, maybe in the billions.
Right.
We don't know, but the point is that they want him to condemn the film, say outright, in order, because see, this is the thing. They know that your sports players, your athletes, and your entertainers, they know that you at the bottom, you follow them.
Right.
You follow them. You follow their styles. You try to get their hair, get your hair like theirs. You try to wear the clothes that celebrities wear. You try to drive the cars that celebrities wear. You even try to vote the same way that the celebrities would vote. They know that black people at the lowest level look up to these celebrities on television. So if he's condemning it, all black people are going to say, man, the hell with that damn film. We ain't no damn Hebrews.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they thinking in their mind by having him condemn it. Go ahead.
Come. Condemn the harmful and false content and make clear that he does not have anti-Jewish beliefs.
Whoa. See, now what they're getting into, because if you believe that you're God's chosen people, they're almost infringing on this brother's religious rights. They will go against their own constitution in America to oppress you as a black and Hispanic man. Right? Go ahead, keep reading.
Number 2, complete the anti-hate causes that Irving, the Nets, and the Anti-Defamation League agreed upon in their joint release on November 2nd, including I didn't put how much, but a donation.
The donation is they want him to donate $500,000 to a anti-hate cause. Am I correct? Yeah, it's $500,000 they want this brother to donate. So they want to humiliate this brother and rape his pockets, all because he shared something that's actually true.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
Number 3, complete sensitivity training created by the Nets.
Good night.
Number 4, complete anti-Semitic / anti-hate training designed by the Nets.
Good night. Go ahead.
Number 5, meet with representatives from the Anti-Defamation League, as well as Jewish community leaders in Brooklyn.
Good night. So they want him to meet with Jewish leaders. This is the playbook that they always come with. This is what happened to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon got shut down for saying that the original Semitic people were black people. And what did they do? They took him off. They took him off air for a minute.
Right.
Then they brought a Jewish rabbi onto his other show and had him talk to the Jewish rabbi and you know, be humble and sit at the table and listen to what the Jewish rabbi had to say and look like he was sorry for saying what he said when what he said was true. The original Shemitic people were dark-skinned people, right? Anything else on that?
Number 6, after completing 1 to 5, meet with owner Joe Tsai.
Right. And this owner, he's Moab, correct? He's Moab. This owner, he's an Asian. Go ahead.
And lead franchise officials and demonstrate the lessons learned and that the gravity of the harm caused in the situation is understood.
What in the hell? What harm did he cause by sharing that documentary? Right. Did he cause more harm than producing artists that talk about killing other black men? Did he?
Right.
Was it more harm? Was it more harm than that?
Right.
We all seen the Breakfast Club interview with Leon Cohen, where Charlemagne asked him, "What about all the the music promotes the getting high, the lean, and all of the violence? What do you say to that when people call you a culture vulture?"
Right.
He said, "Well, I got people to feed." Right? He said he got people. The Jewish man said he got people to feed. Right? Hey, shalom, Jaime. The Jewish man said, I got people to feed. This is a Jewish executive that, he's in control of a lot of artists' career. And think about this. I want you to really think about this. Now, they're saying all of that about hate. This is supposed to be a righteous people. This is supposed to be God's chosen people, right? A righteous people. But you produce and you push the type of music in the black community. Then you turn around and go celebrate Passover. You go instead. General Muhammad brought this out. He said, you go before your Jewish rabbi, and the rabbi doesn't charge you for the money that you get from black people in the music business. They get raped in that industry, right? They get 10 cents. They get pennies per sale. I pennies on the dime. They don't get anything compared to the people that is cutting the check. They basically give you some money, right, in a contract, and you have to make a couple of albums with that money, and then for us, we looking at them like they got some bread, when in reality they are in debt to these companies, to these Jewish people. They're in debt. You got to pay all of the money, the cars, the jewelry, everything they did for you, right? You got to pay it back. You understand? So is this really a righteous people that would set up shop and eat off of another people, steal from another people, right? And be looked at as God's chosen people and get upset anytime somebody says something that's truthful. Kanye West said that the Jews own Hollywood.
Right.
And they said that was anti-Semitic. Give me the definition of anti-Semitic. Go ahead.
So, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you remember that situation that happened in New York with the Jewish lawyer that was being racist towards the Raza that was working in the restaurant.
I don't know about that. So, I probably seen the video, but refresh my mind.
He's a man by the name of Michael Schlossberg, and he was going off. The video's on YouTube, but he's going off on the restaurant and getting mad at the workers because they were speaking Spanish.
Good night.
But my thing is, like, when was he required to go apologize to leaders of the so-called Hispanic community? When did he donate money to causes,
Right, to and take sensitivity classes, right? Like, lawyer. And he's a lawyer. He should know how to talk to people as a lawyer, right? And we're just showing you, if you could, somebody give me Deuteronomy 32 and 21. We're just showing you the double standard when it comes to us and it comes to them, and just anybody, because what you just said is something that happens right here in Southern California, where you had incidents where white people would get mad at Mexican people for speaking Spanish.
Right.
Why don't you learn English?
Right.
This is not something that's isolated to the so-called Jewish man. We know that he is just I believe Amalek was a grandson or cousin to Esau, right? If I'm correct, we can pull it. He's definitely in the family tree. Just put it that way, right? You got that?
Definition.
Yeah, give me the definition of what is that? What I want? Anti-Semite or anti-Semitism. Give me that.
The Merriam-Webster definition of anti-Semitism: hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group.
So did Kyrie show any hostility towards the Jewish people by sharing a link? Right? Did Kanye West show any hostility by saying the Jews run Hollywood? When it's the truth, you can't even say, according to the way they do it, is like you can't even say something good about them.
Right.
Like, okay, you run Hollywood. That's good.
Right.
That's a good thing. Right. I'm just saying you run it. Right. It's almost like a black person or a Hispanic person saying, white supremacy or white people are in all positions of power in America.
Right.
Most positions of power are. Could you look up how many white? Let's just say we're talking about NBA. How many white owners are in the NBA? I'm gonna show you something. This is what it's like saying. How many white owners are in the NBA? Kanye West said the Jews run Hollywood. There's documentaries on the Jews themselves telling you that they got their start in Hollywood. And that's why when you look up, matter of fact, don't look that up. Somebody look up how many Hollywood producers are Jewish. Let's see. If you listen, I'm gonna show you something. Kanye West said that the Jews run Hollywood, meaning they are in all the positions of power in Hollywood. And that was considered anti-Semitic or hostile, showing hostility. The definition, let me read the definition. I got the definition right here. Hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group. So that was showing discrimination and hostility when he said the Jews run Hollywood. And I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to show you how it could mean one thing to them, but in reality, that is not even the case. Y'all find anything on the Jews? How many Jews are? Go ahead.
I found this one that says how come 50% of billionaires in the USA are Jewish when Jewish people only make up 1.4% of the population?
Good night. So 50% of the billionaires in America are Jewish, but Jews only make up what, 1% of the population? They only make up 1% of the population. So how could that be? But that is a fact. That is something that we just pulled off the internet. That is a fact about them. And then you walk down the street or you on social media and you say, yeah, 50% of the Jews are 50% in America. And then they say that's anti-Semitic. What the hell are you even talking about? It's the truth, right? As a black person, growing up in America as a black person, you could say that all KKK members are white. That's the truth. Am I'm anti-KKK? No, it's the truth. Am I anti-white? It's the truth, right? And so you see how they flip it. And in this situation with Kyrie Irving, this just shows you that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? Because the brother ain't did nothing to warrant the kind of response and the hate that he's getting, not only from the NBA, the NBA commissioner, the Nets owner. What they need to do is prove or show in that documentary what parts of that documentary are anti-Semitic. That should be the burden of proof for them, right? Now they putting this brother on the back burner and they trying to humiliate this brother. They should be able to prove exactly. Everybody can go watch it, and I'm sure they got the money to spend. $14. I don't know how much it is anymore, but they have the funds to watch it and pinpoint exactly in the documentary where is the anti-Semitism, where is the Jewish hate in that particular documentary. Because I've heard plenty of people, I myself, I haven't seen it, but I heard plenty of people say it's anything close to that in that documentary, right? The real thing is that the world does not want you to wake up. Give me Psalms 83. The real issue here with anybody saying anything about black people being the real Jews is that they do not want you to wake up and come in your full power as God's chosen people, right? Because when we come in our full power, it's game time. It's over. Right. It's over. You know, all of the BS is over. Right. This world is done, right? That's all Christ is waiting on, is for his people to stand up, for these dry bones to live. Who got that? Well, give me what you got first.
I consider, like, I would say they did I guess they doing a really good job at censoring the internet, because I cannot find anything on there that says, you know, how many of them are Jewish.
Oh yeah. Definitely they can censor the internet. It's on there. You just have to dig for it. It's not on the top of the results. You know, they can put things in the back. You got to go through about 10 pages to find something, you know what I mean? Whereas if they're trying to sell you something and you search it, you don't even have to search it. You talk about it and it'll pop up on your feed. They got that type of technology now. If you could give me Psalms 83, you got that? Start at verse 1. Is that what I want?
Yes, for Deuteronomy.
The nations. I did ask for Deuteronomy. We'll get to Deuteronomy 32, but give me that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult. The enemies of God. The enemies of God are the people are your enemies as Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. The enemies of God are the people that want you to be humiliated and donate $500,000 for sharing a goddamn link. The enemies of God will say that you are anti-Semitic for telling the truth. Those are the enemies of God. Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. Black and Hispanic man, those that hate you they have lifted up their head. They have looked at you with disgust and disdain. And the minute that they see that you are starting to wake up, they are trying to crush you. They're trying to shut you down. You understand? But you can't stop this. You can't stop the truth. You cannot stop the power of the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What is a crafty counsel that they have done in the history of us? Any brother?
Claiming to be the chosen people.
Claiming to be the chosen people of God. Another crafty counsel is putting yourself up as the image of God. White Jesus. That's crafty counsel. What is a crafty counsel they do inside of our communities? The music is crafty counsel. By having us produce music that only destroys us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't encourage us. Right. Having us, we're already in a, coming from a low state. Most Black and Hispanic men, aspire to play sports, aspire to be a rapper. Right. These are the main avenues that our people aspire to be in entertainment or in sports. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They have said what?
And come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. They don't want you to be a nation. They don't want you to be in unison. They want you to be up under their foot. They don't want you to remember who you were in the past. They don't want you to realize that you come from the greatest man on the planet Earth. They don't want you to remember that you come from a man named Issachar. They don't want you to remember that you come from a man named Judah, a man named Ephraim. They don't want you to remember your forefathers, right? Go ahead.
Verse, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent.
Say that again.
For they have consulted.
No, go back again, up again.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That when you say that you're Israelite, when you say that you're God's chosen people, people will laugh at you. People will call you an anti-Semitic person. Right. People will say you're hateful and you're showing hostility when you're reclaiming your heritage. Because the name of Israel is in no more in remembrance. They call themselves Israelis,
right?
And Jewish, which is something we were not Jewish, right? We were not Israelis. Right. We were the nation of Israel, Hebrew Israelites. Go ahead.
So like I want to say they call us today Black Hebrew Israelites.
They call you Black Hebrew Israelite as though you converted to trying to follow the so-called Jewish man. I know you're trying to hold on to a culture that is not yours. and they say, "Oh, you're African, right?
Right.
If it wasn't for us, you would be somewhere over there in mud huts, right? That's what they would like to believe.
Right.
That's what you believe, and that's why they have almost succeeded in the name of Israel not being in remembrance. But thanks to the Most High, Barakatah wa Yahweh Shai, that brothers, the Lord reserved righteous men. He reserved a remnant, right, to remember who they were, to remember in a strange land who they were, right? And that's how the Isupk came about, because the Lord never forgot his promise to Abraham. Go ahead.
Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, meaning they are together against us. Go ahead.
Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
The tabernacles of Edom. The tabernacles of Edom is who? The so-called white man. That's the Edomites today in the earth. Go ahead. The Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes.
Those are the Ishmaelites are the Arabs, the Chinese, the Africans. Go ahead.
Gabal and Ammon and Amalek.
The Japanese and Amalek, who is the so-called Jewish man today. Go ahead.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Go ahead.
Assur also is joined with them.
The Assyrians, the Africans. Go ahead.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot. Who is? Go ahead.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin,
right,
at the brook of Kasan.
Keep going.
Which perished at Endor.
Right.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth, fertilizer. That's what this is. That's what this psalm is about. Remembering our enemies and the people who are against us, and one day they will be fertilizer. Go ahead.
Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
They said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in our possession. Black and Hispanic people, you probably think that it is very unknown, but it is well known who you are in this earth. They have done the research in the archaeology, and they have pulled out all of the records, and they know who you are, right? To the extent that they don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to ever call yourself a Jew. They don't want you to say that the Jews are black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? They have taken you in possession. They put you in chattel slavery. There is no event more horrific, more destructive, more traumatic than the transatlantic slave trade, but they'll have you believe that what happened in Nazi Germany was the worst thing that ever happened in history, when it was not. It's just historical fact that it was not. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 13. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
Is that it on it? That's it. And these are the Psalms of David. He said, make them like a wheel, like the stubble that the fire burneth. Put them to shame for their lies. Put them to shame for their hate. And in that day, they're going to understand who God really is. They're going to understand who Yahweh really is. They're going to understand our power. And the people that you look at as though, oh, they're anti-Semitic, you're going to find out they are the real Shemitic people. They are the most righteous Shemitic people that the Lord has ever created. You understand? Now, I wanted Deuteronomy, I think it was Deuteronomy 32 and 21. 32 and 21. I'm going to get this video real quick. Where we at? We're about 8 minutes. 8 o'clock. Let me get this video. Now, I seen this video with LeBron James. I don't know if I want to go to that right now. Maybe I'll wait. Get that. Yeah. You got it? Okay, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
Right. So as when we were in our, not, this is Deuteronomy, so this is a prophecy. But the Lord is saying, even out of the wilderness, we were trying to serve other gods. Remember when Moses went up to get the commandments? He went up. We made a golden calf. We were trying to go back to Egypt right after the Lord had pulled us up out of Egypt. And so we moved the Most High to jealousy, right? With things that are not even God, with idols made out of wood and stone. Go ahead.
Come. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
What?
Those which are not a people.
And now look at where you at right now. You sitting looking at a people that are not God's chosen people, that are calling you an anti-Semite for tweeting a link.
Right.
He said he will move you to jealousy with a people that are not a people that have taken your lineage,
right,
your heritage, your inheritance from the Most High, right? He said he'll move you to jealousy, and you'll sit there and you're angry looking at a people and you're powerless to do anything, right? But you're not powerless to the point where you can't get the Lord on your side. And how we get the Lord on our side? In order for the Lord to be with us, we have to keep the commandments. We have to say, I'm not going to smoke weed no more. We have to say, I'm not going to, want to try to sleep with every woman anymore. I'm not going to be a hater of my brother without a cause anymore. I'm not going to live that same lifestyle I used to live where I was running in houses and trying to hit licks anymore. I want to be a righteous person. I want to be a person with morals. I want to be a person with integrity. And I want to show the Lord that I repented from them things, and I want to serve him. And if we do that as a people, we won't have to be a people filled with jealousy, looking at another people, claiming to be us, that is not a people. You understand? If you could, so I want to talk about, I don't want to miss this. This past weekend, Tariq Nasheed and them, they went to the Capitol to rally for reparations. And I just want to go through a brief history of what reparations is. So if you could start and read with that link that I sent you. I want to go, not reparations, but 40 acres and a mule, which would have been the first form of reparations.
Start.
Yeah, go ahead.
The short-lived promise of 40 acres and a mule by Nader Karim Naidoo. As the Civil War was ending, recently freed Black people were promised land to start independent lives, but Lincoln's assassination led to that plan's demise. That the question Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton suggested Union General William T. Sherman posed to 20 Black pastors in Savannah, Georgia, as the Civil War neared its end and enslaved African Americans neared freedom. The Black leaders gathered for the January 12, 1865 meeting with the military officials in a mansion called the Green Meldrum House.
So these Black leaders, it was like 20 Black leaders, and most of them were pastors. They were led by a pastor, and they gathered to meet with United States military generals to see what they were going to do, once Black people were free, what they wanted to do, right? Go ahead.
They explained that they didn't want to live among white people as they feared it would take years for racial prejudice to dissipate in the South,
Instead, they wish to live amongst themselves on their own land.
Good night. I don't know if everybody heard that, right? If you can give me a scripture, being a separation scripture. Read that all over again, right? This is why I wanted to read about this. Now they were promised. There was some land that was South Carolina, right? Was that South?
Where the meeting was in?
No, the land that was promised. It was land on the coastline, right? And this land was 40 acres. Everybody was supposed to get 40 acres. And what I don't think that was in the actual agreement, the mule, but I don't know. I can't really remember how the mule got into there, but I don't believe it was in the actual agreement. I'm fast forwarding it. The point is, what the young man just read is that when they sat down with these white generals and made this an agreement, they didn't want to be around white people. Does that mean I'm anti-white? It's the truth.
Right.
It's history. It's the truth. You know what I mean? Usually the sky is blue.
Right.
Does that mean I'm anti-gray sky or like or anti-blue? You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the truth. You see the games that they play. Kanye West, he said the truth. We're Semitic. Nick Cannon, he said Semitic people are black people. It's the truth. So now you gotta hate everything. You hate what you're talking about because it's the truth. You hate Jews because they do run Hollywood, and you said they do, but they do. We're in Hollywood all the time, right? We see Jewish people all the time. Right. You know what I mean? But they don't come up to it. I don't know. There's something about the way we look. They rarely come up to. I'm itching for one of them to come up to me. Go ahead.
So last year I want to say, this one time right before we started the camp in Hollywood, we had a U-Haul truck pull up.
Right.
And it seemed like it was like a pro-Amalekite. You know what I mean? Like it's a pro-Jewish, but it's heavy because they came up to us, right, trying to antagonize us. They're saying like, yeah, we're the fake Jews, and yeah, we suck our baby penises and this and that.
Oh my goodness,
man, that shit we didn't record them, but man, they were admitting that they were fake, that they do, and all the things that they do.
Right.
At us.
Yeah. So that's why we always got to have a camera ready and catch them. So if you could read that again.
They explained that they didn't want to live among white people.
They explained what?
That they didn't want to live among white people.
This is why I always say that our people back then were better than our people now after integration. They knew what time it was. They knew who their enemy was. Today, we don't even know who our enemy is. But they said they did not want to live around white people. They wanted their own land, and they didn't want to have to be around white people on their own land, right? That sounds like heaven to me. Go right. Read it from the top again.
They explained that they didn't want to live among white people as they feared it would take years for racial prejudice to dissipate in the South.
So they said they didn't want to live around white people because they knew that white people hated them, and they said it would take years for that hate to disappear. Well, guess what? We're in 2022, going on 23, and that hate has not dissipated.
Right.
They were right. You understand? In what they wanted. They were right and wanted to be separate. If you could give me a scripture, a separation scripture.
Sir, I got Deuteronomy 7:6.
I'll take that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord chose you to be a special people unto himself. Keep reading.
Above all people.
Above all people. You're above all people, Black and Hispanic, Native Indian people. You just don't know you're above all people. All you have to do is just look who's the best and greatest everywhere. You're the best and greatest everywhere, but there's always somebody behind you putting a battery in your back. There's always somebody behind you holding a string like a puppet master. And you have to see and realize that. But the Lord created you to be a special people that he loved above all people. Go ahead.
Okay. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Upon the face of the earth. Now you would say that's not fair. I thought, what about equity? What about being equal? What about all lives matter? What about we all come from Adam? But the Lord created a special people that he's the Lord. He has the right to create a special people. He has the right to have you have the right to have something that you love above everything. I always give this analogy. You have a special garment or outfit in your closet that is above all those other outfits that you got in your closet.
Right.
Special pair of shoes. Some of you, if you're fortunate enough, have a special car that you love more than your other cars. Right. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more.
So like it, I think I passed my point, but this was the Lord wanted us separate. The Lord wanted us to be separate from everybody else. Not saying you wouldn't have to live around everyone else, but mentally, spiritually separate. Physically, we were in a situation, even when we went into the promised land, that we still were going to be around other nations. The Lord knew that. And just like when you're here in America, you're still around everybody else, but you still can be separate. You still can be culturally separate and spiritually separate from America. What is an example of being culturally separate? We celebrate the Passover.
Right.
That's not the culture of America. That's not the culture of a regular black person.
Right.
We don't eat pork. That's not the culture of regular black and Hispanic people. We love ham. We love bacon, carnitas. We love everything with pork in it. That's not our culture is to eat unlawful foods. What is spiritually? Spiritually is to take your spirit out of America. White Jesus, Christmas, right? I was just talking to a sister, and she was talking about how, for some reason, I'm trying to think, who was I talking to? Salaki, was it the sister at work? I can't pinpoint it, but they was in the spirit of, the Christmas season, and the song was in their head, and I said we done grew up in this place listening to these, all these Christmas songs, all of this thing in America. What is it? What are some other songs besides Christmas? Really, it's Christmas. That's the most powerful time of the year where, go ahead.
We just had Halloween.
We just had Halloween. That's in your spirit too, to trick or treat and put on a costume. But when it comes to the music, it's that time of the year. Right. And that spirit is in the air, and you got to fight that spirit. Right. But we spiritually separate from what's going on around us. And it's everywhere. You walk in the store, they change the whole aisle. You know what I mean? They playing the music in the store. They playing the music at your job. They decorate your job. You can't get away from it, so you have to spiritually separate from it. Right. Where we at? We read the separation. Are you still got anything else on the 40 acres and a mule? All right, go ahead.
Instead, they wish to live amongst themselves on their own land.
They wish to live amongst themselves on their own land. Go ahead.
That would entail redistributing the land of southern plantation owners. The way we can best take care of ourselves is to have land and turn it into by our own labor.
Good night. I'm gonna need you to read that part again.
The way we can best take care of ourselves is to have land and turn it and till it by our own labor, said Reverend Garrison Frazier, a 67-year-old Baptist minister and spokesman for the group.
He was a spokesman. Go ahead.
Which included individuals who had been enslaved and lived as free men alike.
Okay, you can stop that. But they said we would want to be separate, and we can survive on our own if we till the land, work the land, right? Agriculture. That's what the whole world is going to go back to when Jesus Christ returns. That will be our lifestyle. Our lifestyle will be agriculture. You understand? But the point is that you have brothers, and over the years we've always asked for reparations. But in 400 years, your oppressor has never given you reparations, let alone a damn apology for slavery. So why in the hell in 2022 you think he's going to give you reparations? You understand? Why would he do that? He's not going to do that. He's not. That's wishful thinking to think that you could get this man, and that would be it sounds like something good, like it would be a benefit, but will it really benefit Black and Hispanic people? Would it really benefit Black people to get money? Because I feel like money is not our issue anymore. We're one of the top consuming nations. We're like, I think, number 11 or somewhere in the world in consuming things and buying things. So money is not our issue. Morals, law, statute, and commandments is our issue in our community. You give a nigga a check, 300,000, 200,000, he gonna be broke in 2 weeks.
Right.
The money is not our issue. How we treat one another is our issue. How we think is our issue in our community. At this point, the only thing that can turn us around is the law, statute, and commandments. There is not no sum of money. You can give us money, you can give us land, we will destroy ourselves. You understand? We need leadership, and that leadership can only come from the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. It can only come from the rules that the Lord set down 4,000 years ago, right? And we have not given that a chance. We have given everything else a chance. We have given, Catholicism, Christianity, Islam a chance, but we have not given the truth a chance. But don't sweat it, because the Lord is going to force you to get into the truth. You're going to see how much these people are devils, and you're going to get more examples of it. And there's going to be plagues and pestilences to where you're going to be forced to get into the truth, right? Because that's going to be the only avenue that you see that could save you, right? Now this is a book called Tell All the Children Our Story, right? Let me see if it focus. Right? Let me see. Who is it written by? Tanya Bolden. So if you want this book, that's the author. If you want to look it up, we're going to read a story from a brother real quick, if you could. This is page 41, and I want you to just read the first paragraph on page 41, the first paragraph up there.
This is page 41 out of Tell the Children Our Story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, daughter, when I was mighty young, just about your age, I used to steal away under a big oak tree. And I tried to learn my alphabet so that I could learn to read my Bible.
So this brother, he used to go hide under a tree and try to learn his alphabets so that he could read his Bible. Go ahead.
But one day the overseer caught me, and he dragged me out on the plantation, and he called out for all the field hands. And he turned to him and said, "Let this be a lesson to all of you darkies."
Now stop this. One day the overseer caught him doing this and drug him out in front of all the slaves and said, "Let this be a lesson to all you darkies." Go ahead.
You ain't got no right to learn to read.
He said, "You ain't got no right to learn to read." Go ahead.
And then, daughter, he whooped me, and he whooped me, and he whooped me.
So the overseer beat him. Go ahead.
And daughter, as if it wasn't enough, he turned around and he burned my eyes out.
He said, if it wasn't enough, this is an old man telling his daughter why he ain't got no eyes. He said, if it wasn't enough, he turned around and burnt my eyes out. Now, you as Black people got your eyes burnt out from trying to read the goddamn Bible.
Right.
Made an example of in front of other slaves. That's exactly what you see here with Kyrie Irving. Now the thing is that you are made an example because you posted or you shared a link on Twitter.
Right.
Your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
How you say oppressor in Spanish?
Opresor.
oppressor, right? Your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? That is it. That is what you have to understand, right? Because what happened then is still happening now, even with a brother with millions of dollars. There's a book called $40 Million Slave where it talks about the beginnings of black people in sports and how playing sports was a way to get up out of the hood. And it starts off with the story of Tom Molyneux, a slave boxer. He come from a slave family. His father and his brothers used to box on the plantation, and he was knocking everybody out. And he fought his way out of the plantation and ended up leaving America, going to England to fight the white champion of England, right? Of Britain, right? But that is your whole life. But in being a sports figure and rising above, you know, like getting out of the hood and getting to another level of status where even white people love you, you still are a slave because you can't even speak the truth. You can't even say, listen, I'm God's chosen people, without the whole world trying to fall down on you, right? You can't speak the truth even as a millionaire. And that goes to show you also all of those brothers that came against Kyrie Irving. You had Stephen A. Smith. He talked about everybody. You had Shannon Sharp. Richard Jefferson. LeBron James. Excuse me. We won't get into a video right now with LeBron James. What if you could give me what LeBron James said? Somebody get that. I'm finna pull up this video. I'm gonna cue this up. I'd seen this today and I was disgusted, man. I was absolutely disgusted when I seen this video. I don't know when it happened or what, you know, but the timing is perfect. Timing is perfect. Let me see. Chrome.
All right, sir.
You got it. Go. Tell me what LeBron James said. Read it loud so the people can hear you.
Okay. LeBron James quotes, "I believe what Kyrie did caused some harm to a lot of people."
He said, "I believe what Kyrie did caused a lot of harm to a lot of people. By sharing a link, caused a lot of harm." Is that it? I think it was.
I think he said after that,
It was. I think it was a little longer than that. It might have been. Go ahead.
So like I would say they're good examples of what a snowflake is. You know what I mean? Like the oppressor and pro-Trumpers would call anybody that would call them out and be, you know, and accuse them of being racist. They would call them snowflakes and being sensitive. Well, that's exactly what they're demonstrating. They're being snowflakes and sensitive.
And if you could, somebody give me First Maccabees 1:1. I want that gymnasium scripture.
I got the rest too, sir.
You got the rest? Go ahead and read that. Read that what LeBron James said.
LeBron James quotes, "If you are promoting or soliciting or saying harmful things to any community that harm people, then I don't respect it. I don't condone it."
Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing. Like $40 million slave. We are hoes for the white man. We become prostitutes because we're getting this money. And what did the scripture say? Oppression make a wise man mad, but a gift destroys the heart. That gift of that $1 million contract and them endorsements and them people that pay you destroy your heart for your people and for the truth, right? To the point where you're not willing even to stand with your brother on something that is actually truthful. Before you even hear it, you are against him because you're looking at like, I'm not trying to lose my goddamn endorsements. I'm not trying to lose my lavish lifestyle. Right. It goes back to the rich man with Christ. When he said, "I've done all of these things. What else do I need to do?" He said, "Sell everything you have and give it to the poor." The rich man could not do it. He walked away sorrowful. He could not do it. And that's what you see with our people. Our people are not willing to give up everything in order for the greater good. They're not willing to stand by on the side of the Most High in righteousness because they are in love with their careers and their bags and, you know, getting the finer things in life. Let me play this real quick. Go ahead.
Sir, if I could, real quick, I just wanted to say that I noticed in the video, right? They're like whatever's with LeBron. They're acting like it's whatever, like it ain't no thing with LeBron James being. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping or something. But when I notice, they act like, you know what I mean? Like they're whatever's about him being there. They care less whether he's there or not.
Yeah. Now you see how that was LeBron James. What the brother was saying is like they look at it like it's whatever. Their demeanor look like LeBron James. Okay, he here, but he's just another celebrity. He's not nobody, right? Imagine LeBron James walking through Rucker Park with black people. But this is the thing, man. What LeBron James don't know is he was the only goddamn Jew in there.
Right.
He was the only Jew in there, right? And it kind of make me think when you think about what Kanye West was saying. Kanye West was saying, I'm jealous of the way that Jews stick together and they do business and all of these things they get from the law, right?
Right.
Even though they're not the actual people that the Lord gave the law to. And I'm speaking to that, what he said about how they move together and how they have solidarity and all of those things. Look, when it comes to what you just saw, that's the reason why we don't have solidarity in our community, because we give it to another people.
Right.
We trim our ways to seek love.
Right.
Right. We do what we have to do in order to keep what we got. I get what I got is mine and I want to keep it. So I don't want to do anything to where I lose it. And LeBron James showed so much great rep. He was showing so much. He was holding his hand.
Right.
The whole time. And I don't know who, listen, that Jewish rabbi, I don't know who he is. He's not a celebrity. He's not known. But LeBron James was holding his hand like he was his great grandfather.
Right.
You understand? And I just feel like LeBron James should be giving that love to Commanding General Yahanna.
Right.
He should be giving that love to an Israelite leader, the only Israelite leader in the whole planet Earth. Brothers that's been doing the work. You understand? But we choose to give our love to another people, and we wonder why we so destroyed. And it's not just LeBron James, it's other celebrities and entertainers. When they in a position like that, we would rather give our love to another people instead of giving it to who deserves it. A brother that is not famous, a brother that no one knows his name except if you're in the truth, but the Lord knows his name. It's Commander General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been here. We've been doing the work, and you giving your love to a people that you are better than. If you could, where we at? Give me First Maccabees, and then I'm going to go to a video. I'm gonna play a video. The video going to be like 20 minutes, about 25 minutes. with Commander Gen.Yahanna, giving you the breakdown of how the school started. Please take notes, right? I believe it's First Maccabees 1:1 with the gymnasium. Let me see if I want to make sure I covered everything I want to talk about. I think I did. Go ahead.
Sir, I have the First Maccabees 1:1.
Give me that.
Come. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
So this is for people that say that history is, the Bible is not history. It's giving you history. Alexander the Great is in the Bible. If you look at the history of Alexander the Great, it says the exact same thing about the history of him, how he conquered everything. And then he died at a young age, and his kingdom was split in four, I think it was four, to his four generals. Keep reading.
Verse 2.
Are we going to get to it? I don't know if I did I get the is that the one with the gymnasium? Salaki, I don't want to let me help you out, because I might have given you the wrong precept. I'm giving you the wrong precept. Oh, Salaki, 14, verse 14.
Okay. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
So now the Greeks had conquered Jerusalem. They had conquered the Holy Land, and they built a place of a gymnasium in Jerusalem, right? Just like how you go to the gym today, they had gymnasiums with the bathtub and the steam and exercising, and a place of exercise. Right. The same thing. This was instituted by the Greeks. This was not a an Israelite custom. Not saying that we didn't play with our hands and do combat and all of those things, but just the idea of a place to go and exercise. Well, in ancient Greece, it was a big place. It was a place not where you would go do all of those things, but it was a place where you also would do sexually deviant things, and you would do it was a place like to hang out, like a hangout, right? The place of exercise. Keep reading.
And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant.
And they made themselves uncircumcised and they forsook the holy covenant. So they loved this place so much, that's what they started doing. Keep reading.
And joined themselves to the heathen.
They joined themselves to the heathen. And let me just say also is that a lot of times we would end up inside of the Colosseum. We were those gladiators fighting each other and fighting wild beasts for the entertainment of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Go ahead.
And were sold to do mischief. Now, verse 16, now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus.
Salaki, you could drop that right there. But this is the start of sports as you know it, right? We've always been the entertainment of another people. This is the start of the idea of us being in a Coliseum. And everywhere you go around America, they have Coliseums set up where 90% of the people in the Coliseum is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians entertaining everyone else. Go ahead.
Like, sir, just have a question.
Go ahead.
Is Antiochus the same thing as Antioch?
No, Antiochus is Salakia. That was a Greek ruler. Oh, Antiochus Epiphanes, right? Yeah. So you can drop that. So now I'm gonna get into this video. Give me 1 second to cue this up, and we're gonna listen to Commander Gen.Yahanna. Let me see. There we go. And we will get this popping.
Wait, I want to bring up something that somebody brought up about the ISUBK. Because it was brought up that about the ISUBK and about somebody asked about the ISUBK and about what was the specific question? I believe it was about the history. Something about the history. I'm trying to just remember what they asked. The 12 tribes. Oh, right, that's it. They said that Ariah did not come up with the 12 tribes, that it was Abba Bibbins that came up with the 12 tribes. Okay, let me just say this. Whoever said that is a dirty, stinking liar.
That's right.
Either they a liar, I don't want to just call them a liar outright. Either they lying or they do not know the history.
Right.
Now, listen to me good. I know I'm young and dashing.
That's right.
However, I done been around for a while. And I am in the ISUBK.
That's right.
So I know what went on in the ISUBK.
Right.
And I heard it from the horse's mouth. I ain't hearing this second part. I'm hearing this directly. And ask anybody. I was there back then with the heads and all that. And I sat down with them and asked them. We out like we always do, out getting stuff for the school. I'm out with Mo, Ariah. I think Lahab was there, a couple of others. And I asked Ariah about it. And I said, Ariah, how did the 12 tribes come about? And they proceeded to go into the story, okay, about Ariah. First of all, Ariah used to work construction as a young man. And like I brought out in that documentary the brothers was making, he fell down an elevator shaft, 3-story, broke both his legs, was in traction. Got in a wheelchair for 3 years. Ariah rode around. The doctor said he would never walk again. He rode around in a wheelchair for 3 years. And so naturally, he couldn't go to camp, couldn't do a ton of things. Couldn't even get up the stairs in the school. So he spent a ton of that time at home. And he started to study the records and the history.
Right.
And he did this for years. And then he had the vision. Now this, I'm getting this from Mo and Ariah out their own mouth. I ain't getting this second party. I ain't talking to somebody that talked to them. I ain't talking to somebody from some other group. I was standing there in front of them when they was laying it out.
That's right.
More than one was laying it out. And that's when Ariah had the vision. Now, Ariah, this happened, Ariah was a young man, 18, 19, you know, like young men do, work construction, do different jobs. Bibbins was over the school. Ariah was one of the ones coming up in the school. When he got the vision, of course, he brought it to Bibbins. Bibbins knew the vision was right. And of course, being the head of the school, Bibbins brought it out to everybody. Just like I'm the head of the school. Brothers bring me stuff all the time, and I bring it out. It don't mean I'm the one that created it, or I'm the one that came up with it. So Bibbins did not come up with it. Ariah is the one through the vision of the Lord. Now listen, you can say what you want. Ariah got the vision. That's who the Lord decided to give it to.
That's right.
And he got it, and he passed it on. And I remember, let me tell you something else that was epic. Because this is what y'all don't know, that I know. When I was there and I'm talking to Ariah about it, Ariah said to me personally, he said, Yahanna, but you know what's the amazing part about it? I said, what, Ariah? He said, when I got the vision, we knew nothing about archaeology and history, because the Israelite school of UBK didn't heavily go into archaeology until Yeshaya started going heavy. We had some artifacts about Israel being in Egypt, Israel being black, but we hadn't touched the Middle East till the 80s. We hadn't touched, not the Middle East, we hadn't touched the medieval times. We were still studying and developing those things during them times, back in the 80s. Once again, I was there. You ain't got the one. I'm telling you from the horse's mouth, being there in the room. Right. I know everything that went on in the UPK because I was there. So going back, so to go back to what I'm saying, so he said, you know, Yahanna, we was not into the archaeology back when I got this vision. So even when I got it and wrote it down, it was strange to me. He said, this was strange to me that the Lord showing me these are the 12 tribes, because we had no real connection to them. He said, and I started to study it, and what was even heavier was, he said, I wasn't the one to start to bring it out. It was Yeshaya that started to bring it out. And that's when we all start digging up all this history, Russian icons, you know, nature knows no color line. We brought that back up. Lost tribes in promised lands. Went into all encyclopedias and start pulling all these records up. And to Ariel, that was like amazing in that he had gotten this vision, but he did not understand the vision. Not that he didn't understand it, but meaning he didn't have any proof that this was true. Right. He just knew it was true, and they just, Bivens and them went on the faith that they knew that this young brother was sincere with the truth. And so they went on, they said, okay, the Lord showed it to you, we're going to run with it. And they ran with it. And then later on is when now it's all out. Right. Every tribe, the history on the tribes, all of it came out. And boom, now we see that it was true. So anybody telling that you that, brother, ain't coming clean. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Anybody want to know the history of the UPK, you ain't got to wonder about it. I'm telling you, I was sitting in the room with Mo and them, Ariel and them. Lahar, Yeshaya Shaw. I live next to Yeshaya in Kazak's apartment. So you know I know everything that went on. I was the chicken man. I run the chicken house. You know the chicken man, no everything. What are you talking about? You ain't gotta ask nobody. I was there. Okay, and let me tell you what was heavy about the UPK back then. See, let me explain to you how it went down. Go back. Let's for a minute, Maya. Rewind the time. Back in the turn of the century in the 1900s, white Jewish synagogues invested in black Jewish synagogues. Black Jewish synagogues started to emerge. What people don't understand is Matthews and all them cats back then, they was black synagogues, but they was not black synagogues like we think of black Hebrew Israelites today. They were black synagogues that were counterparts to their white synagogues. In other words, they wasn't saying the white man's the devil. They was treating themselves like they were Jewish conversions. Like the white Jews was the real Jews, but that they were black Jews by conversion. So they was respecting the white Jews. And that's what Matthews and them was doing. But here's what people don't know. Bivens was a real radical. Bivens was a radical. He came up from the South and he had learned about being an Israelite from the slaves. So he had that edge on him that the Lord wanted. He had that hate the white man edge that this guy is the enemy. So now he joined Matthews and them. They fellowshipping with white yeshivas, white synagogues. So Bivens in a jam here. So he had to break from them. And when he broke from them, that's when he set up his school on Fifth Avenue. And in his school, that's when they started to get radical. And see, Ariel was a young radical brother too, which is why he gravitated to Bivens. And Yaakov, you know, Yaakov was a two-gun gangster. When he come up from Florida, Yaakov used to carry two guns, tell me the stories all the time. In Yahanna, I used to carry two guns all the time. He said until one day, he always tell me the story, until one day he was in a bar and a cat came in to rob the bar. And he about to reach for his two guns. And he said he looked over to the side and then he saw in the shadow that the stick-up guy had a backup guy that was already in the place with another gun But he was already there before the stick-up guy came in. So he said if he would have pulled the two guns, the backup cat would have shot him. And he said, then he said to himself, you know what? The Lord want me to put these guns down. So he put his guns up. So Ariel, and Ariel, being Yaquab's son, he was a radical too. Like these was not them old Jewish cats that's in them group. That's why you ain't never hear about them cats. Because they was not called to raise up the prophet.
That's right.
They would have Jewish synagogues, and that's it. Anybody can open a Jewish synagogue. Old Testament, New Testament, the ones in Chicago, the ones in Dimona, none of them was like the ISUPK.
That's right.
And there's a reason for that. Because the ones in the ISUPK, there was a spirit of the Lord that was on them. Right. And listen, show you how radical Bivens was. Now remember, now we're talking the 60s, in the height of the Nation of Islam. What's the one they killed? No, the Muslim. Malcolm X. Malcolm X doing speeches in Harlem. You know what I mean? They damn near running Chicago. Right. And Abba Bivens going on the street in Newark telling Muslims, you not no Muslims. Right. That's right. You the lost chosen people of the Lord. That's how radical he was. Right. Matthews and them was sitting up in there on Saturday with a sheet over their head praying to the Lord. Bivens was out there battling. Right. He was radical. And when they killed Bivens, then of course it was a whole bunch of power grabbing in the school that Bivens had built. So Masha Yaqub took Yaqub's son Ariah, and the three of them came around the corner and rented 1 West 125th Street from Mr. Mills. Mr. Mills ran Mills Security. He had started Mills Security in the 60s, became wealthy but by giving black people jobs as security guards. He eventually bought the building. Once he bought the building, he knew them from around the corner and rented them out 1 West 125th Street. And that's how 1 West got started. And if you go back and check, they was trying to break from that whole vibe of the white Jews, because the whole reason it became universal, remember it's Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Originally, it was the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Why? Because back then, everybody was, like I said, tied to the white Jews. But when they started the Israeli School of UPK, they were trying to break away from it because they had found out from the visions and the scriptures that those white people were not the Jews, but that in fact they were the real Jews. While Matthews and them was treating the white people like they were the Jews, and the black people like they were conversions to the Jews. Right. That's why some of them that went out to Ohio and Chicago named they synagogues Ethiopian Israelites or Ethiopian Jews. Right. Why? Because they was trying to find a way to convert themselves in. Same time, ain't no black people Ethiopian. We come out of slavery. Right. So why would you call it Ethiopian? Because you're trying to convert to white Judaism. Even the outfits they wore came from the white Jewish rabbis. You understand? But they were but the Lord was working to break them out of it. So when they got around to 1 West, that's when they added universal practical knowledge, because now it was a betwixt. Because back then, you had to come in and convert to Judaism. But here was a new radical idea where they were saying you no longer got to convert to Judaism. You are the real Jew. That's right. You are the people of the Lord. That's right. And that was radical at that time. And let me tell you something else too. The Israelite School of UPK, go check their history. Go check out the Nation of Islam. Go check out the Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party. Go check out the Conscious Community. Go check out every black so-called radical organization in America. Every last one of them in some way either work together, receive finance from, or work in concert with other white groups. Right. But what Yaqub and them did was completely unique. And really, if the history books were to be true and right, the Israelite School of UPK is the only black group that completely excludes every other nation. We are truly black race. We are truly different. You understand? And we truly something that ain't like nobody else. And let me add something else if I could. It wasn't until the Lord showed Ariah, Yaquab, and Masha, Yaquab, and Ariah this truth, that the word of being an Israelite even got spread. Right. Like all these Israelite synagogues been around all over the country. But why is it didn't get spread like a wildfire until these radical, real prophets came up? Like prophets do. Prophets don't come up soft. Scripture tell you that. Right. They come up rough. And them brothers was on a different vibe. And then Ariah and them came out, brother. And that's when we start hitting them streets. And they start taking the game out. And brother, before you know it, then the whole world, whenever you mention now an Israelite, the first thing out of people's mouth is, you talking about them guys on the street? Because now everybody look at an Israelite as us. But them groups, wasn't like that. And them groups later on, they began to become black Israelites. Because they wasn't black Israelites before. They was black Jewish synagogues. Right. That's what they was. They wasn't anti-white. Right. They was just black people following white Jewish tradition. It wasn't until the UPK at 1 West did the game change out. Right. Because that's where the Lord raised them prophets up. So, brother, let me tell you something. And I used to ask Mo and Ariana and them 1,000, like I was a young, silly man, asking them 1,000 questions a day. And I see why. I had to ask them questions because the Lord wanted me to know them answers, because one day I was going to have to answer other people about them. I was going to have to lay down this legacy. The Israelite school of UPK is absolutely unique from any black Israelite group. It is completely unique and in the hands of the Lord. It is not normal. You know what I'm saying? It is not what everybody else has been. And it pioneered, let's be clear, it pioneered being a black Israelite. Because before that, it was black Jewish. You know what I mean? Even when we started, again, Yaquab and them named it the Israeli school because Israeli was from the white Jew. Let's make it clear. Matthews did not raise up Bivens. Bivens joined them, but he could not stay with them for that same reason. And then a ton of groups came out of them, and all of them today, damn near all of them love white people. Some of them got a little radical, little blackness on them. But the majority of them, brother, all will accept white conversions to Judaism. When you can't, there's no such thing as converting to Judaism. That's right. Either you of the bloodline or you not. The strangers that the Bible talking about in the law ain't talking about heathens. That's right. The strangers is talking about is our people. In the New Testament, a lot of you get mixed up. That's why people was killing them people in them Christian groups back in the 70s, because they would read the Bible where Paul said a woman must entertain strangers. Y'all know the scripture. Say, have she entertained strangers? Right. So she bringing in people in her house off the street, and they killing her in the damn house because she think that means strangers, like strangers of today. When Paul say she must entertain strangers, he's talking about Israelites that live in other parts of the country that come to that city, and they are stranger to that city. Right. I mean, now she's supposed to be a sister under either her man or the priest, and then she put them brothers up. Like brothers do. Passover come around. High holy days come around. Brothers come in from out of town. Sisters put them up. That's the stranger. The stranger ain't, Tom Blow walking up the damn street. That's not what it's talking about. And in the Old Testament, where it says stranger, it ain't talking about no heathen. I don't went on a whole ass about when it's talking about stranger, it ain't talking about no other nation. Okay, y'all. Once again, the UPK where it started. You ain't got to go to know. Just ask me. I know I got all the answers. Every last one. You understand? You ain't got to worry. All this speculation. All this old speculation. Which there ain't nothing to speculate about. I was there. I was sitting right there under Marsha and them feet. Marsha and them be sitting there holding counsel. I was sitting on the floor right there. on the edge of the podium while they holding counsel, breaking down everything that got to go on in the truth. Okay, so it ain't. I was sitting in Yaquab's classes back in the 80s. Okay, when Yaquab using the little chalkboard, I was in them classes. I saw everything that went on, and that is not true. We come out of our Bibbin school where we went into 1 West 125th Street, and the vision did not come to Bivens.
That's right.
The vision came to RER, and like a good servant of the Lord, Bivens took the vision and spread it, made the t-shirts, put it on covers of pamphlets, started teaching it on the street, and they went on for years until Yeshaya and Shaw and Kazak and Lahab came in. And then they went on for years with it until we came in, myself, Aria Allah, Crazy Tahar, Yashawan. All of us came in afterwards, and tons of brothers with us. Then it went, forget about it, global, all over the place. And now all you got now is cats out there trying to pretend like they know our history better than us.
Right.
No, you don't know our history better than us. Like I said, I was there. I'm from New York. I was in Harlem. I sat on the old wooden chairs at 1 West 125th Street. Wear your behind out after 3 hours. The classes back then was 7 to 10. Not like y'all got 7 to 9. You 7 to 10, 3 hours a night, okay? And you had to be in there every night, okay? So that's how it went down. That's the legacy of 1 West 125th Street. The vision is real. And let me say this. Anybody that try to deny the vision, listen, regardless of what they think about RER, once again, I was there when RER did nigh onto miracles, brother, in this work of the Lord. RER and Mo and them pioneered being an Israelite across the world. Don't you know, back in the 60s, the Muslims was the biggest black organization in America. Okay, the damn government was spying on them. They were so scared of them. Right. CIA and FBI was so scared of them. That's how big they was. You didn't know nothing about no Hebrew Israelite. Mo and RER and them had to dig it out from the ground with them records and battle this truth all the way up into the 80s. From the 60s, they had to do that. And then from the 80s, got a little bit of help from Yeshaya, Shah, Kazak, and Lahar, who then took the ball, you know what I'm saying, and pushed it up, went into the archaeology, went into the flying saucers, went into the whole military breakdown, went into all of that. And they helped build and foster it up until the 90s, to the early 80s, when we came in, when we didn't flourish really to the late 80s. We were basically in class and young brothers for 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. Then about mid 80s, that's when we start taking out tabs, teaching, boom, boom. Late 80s, we going to other cities. 90s, we in other cities. All that is when it got spread out. So regardless of how you think, man, they did an amazing thing resurrecting this in the wake of Black Panthers, in the wake of Nation of Islam, in the wake of every Christian church. And listen, and if I could, the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers, they dismissed the Bible. The Black Panthers went with communism and said, we atheists, we ain't dealing with the Bible at all. You know what I mean? We dealing with Mao Zedong and, you know, Mein Kampf. That's what they was reading. They was like, that Bible is garbage. The Nation of Islam was like, that Bible is tampered with. We dealing with the Quran. The Christians was like, this is our Bible. Jesus died for everybody. Y'all wrong. So for them to pioneer taking this Bible out and coming against all the black leaders, and them groups work with each other. But for them brothers to take this knowledge that is in direct opposition to every black leadership group and to pioneer and battle it on the street is only an act of the Most High.
That's right.
And now the Israelites, we like unstoppable.
That's right.
We unstoppable.
That's right. Come
And there you have it. Commander Gen.Yahanna laid out the truth. He laid out how the school started, right? And that is a brief history on the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, right? And this truth is not going to stop. This truth ain't going to stop. You can find us You can take our channels down. You can do whatever you got to do, but the power of the Lord will prevail. You understand? This truth must go. Right. It must go out to the four corners of the earth, and right. It will. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are the chosen people of the Most High. You are the biblical ethnic Jews of the Bible. And there are people, and even according to their own word, they are not. This is another book by Shlomo Sand. This is a Jewish professor. He's a current professor, right? Let me get it. Let me see. He's a current professor at the University of Tel Aviv in Israel. He is a Jewish man, right? And this is just another book of their own scholars trying to find their roots. That's what we say in the conscious community. They say, know thyself, right? Well, as Black and Hispanic people, you should know your heritage. And guess what? We're in a time where everybody's trying to find out their heritage. This Jewish man, he's trying to find out his heritage. And he's finding out that they're not connected to the biblical ethnic Jews or the Israelites of the Bible. But Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, you fit all the curses of the Bible. And listen, who else would be God's chosen people other than you? Because you're the people that rejected the most. Just like your forefathers in the Bible, they rejected being told that they were God's chosen people. They rejected it so much that they killed Christ over it. They killed, like, if Christ was saying that he loved everyone, everyone would have loved him. Like when we go out in the streets, and if we were teaching Christianity and we were saying you got to love everyone and everybody is going to be in the kingdom of heaven, well, people wouldn't throw cigarette butts at us. People wouldn't throw bottles and money from roofs at us. Right. People wouldn't spit at us, right? But that's not what we say. We say that God's chosen people are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the people that are thrown away by this society. You are the greatest people on the planet Earth. And our people argue with us the most over this. Our people think that everybody is supposed to be loved and embraced. And they think that we are radical, revolutionary, angry Black and Hispanic men, and something is wrong with us because we're yelling on the street corner. But all of that yelling and all of that prophesying is going to pay off, and we're seeing it pay off right now. So this is a time for Blacks and Hispanics, and not just brothers. You have an opportunity as even if you're not a priest and prophet of the Lord, but you're in this truth, you have an opportunity, right? With what's going on in the earth, to find yourself with somebody, say at work or a family member, to explain to them what is the big issue. It is not because these brothers are anti-Semitic. It's because this truth is pouring out its spirit into the earth, and people are waking up, and people are researching, and information is available everywhere. And that is all it is. The world does not want you to wake up. The world does not want everybody to see that the Jews are Black. With that, I'm gonna pass the class and Priest and Officer Malakma. Let's clap it up.
That we're gonna give one courteous salute to the teacher, Brother Israel Amijah, which means stand. Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak,
Yahweh Bashim.
Yahweh With that, Yayin Bata, class dismissed.
We're gonna play a video on the out.
So like I was trying to find that video on YouTube.
Oh no, you're not gonna find that video. Anybody looking for that video I just played, you won't find it on YouTube, because while they trying to suppress the truth, that video has been that page was deleted. That was the old Philadelphia page. Yeah, the original Philadelphia page. So yeah, 1 second. Let me get this.
Watch it on
You can get with me. I can send it to you.
I just know where I'm gonna go on the other picture. I found something similar on there.
You understand? I can respect you. You understand?
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why did the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You see just how it feels. Baby is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity. Facility hating disfigure me. The end of them lazy be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact of them here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember Yahanna's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply presence to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mass shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through it. In the damn by King's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog. Payback is a dog. Dog is a dog.
You ain't no Israelite, bitch, you a gospelite, bitch. Fuck you talking about? If that war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bought it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK too solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All the nigga wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Should've took the time, get a damn no. But I see the sorry and I show her. She could never get a police hoe. You a dirt ass, rust ass nigga. Bitch with that fake ass jury. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. Yeah, that sucker duck bitch ass boy fuck nigga over that bit mugger. I say, if that nigga on wall, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I can't stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't nothing to me. Base up, boy, I fit a beat. Yeah, AR-223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, that clip look like limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. Boy, I bust your ass in the temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you're scoring off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UBK play for keys, nigga. Command to get a damn order, but ain't nothing to me to damn kill you. I stalking his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close combat. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga on wall, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Stop shit, we bout it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. Christ said 7 women gonna be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy? Stressed by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
I thought you brother with the brother. I can't.
You get to start following God.
Right.
I know it's something that you probably never heard in your life, but it's something that you